My name's Andrew Wiltberger. I'm born November 15th, 1998. I'm most proud of being an all-WCL football player, and one piece of advice to myself is always stay humble and be thankful for the things you have in life.
Annie, I'm Andrew's sister.
I'm Sue Lynn Moore.
Sarah Wiltberger.
Andrew Wiltberger is my son.
I know Andrew because he's my brother. We don't live together, but I love him like a real brother.
The student is my brother. He's always been pretty smart and pretty involved in a bunch of different things. He did karate, he did soccer, he played the bass when he was younger. But when he was a kid, he was probably a lot shyer than he was today. He wasn't the outgoing, kind of goofy person he is in high school. He was also pretty risk adverse. I remember when we were little, he was kind of scared of the ocean and didn't really want to go in and see the sharks or anything like that.
He was very energetic and curious. He wanted to know what everything was, and not just like, oh, what's a train? Then he needed to know specifically what different kinds of trains there were and what the differences in the trains were. When he was a baby, my sister sent him a train encyclopedia that was probably like 5 pounds, and it had pictures, but it also had very specific information about trains. And Andrew needed me to read everything, not just the words under the pictures, but everything, because he wanted to know what the difference was, because he had to know everything.
Andrew was the best kind of little brother to have because he thought I knew everything. He would have his mom call me on the phone and ask me questions, specifically about Star Wars. So he was very inquisitive. He always wanted to know how things worked, or I also had to read this really long train encyclopedia to him one time, and it would be stuff like, the 545 model goes at 70 kilometers per hour, like really boring things, but he loved it. And one time he fell asleep on my shoulder reading the train book.
My most powerful memory of Andrew is when he was in middle school. He came to me and was worried about one of his friends because his friend was getting bullied at school and not at school. And Andrew wanted to know if there was anything that we could do to help him, or anything that Andrew could do to help him. And I just always remember that because it was so important for him to help his friends. And that's what Andrew's all about even today. He's very protective of his friends.
So Andrew was not walking yet, and he was this little toddler, and his mom was trying to get him to eat a grape, and he didn't want to. And so he's sitting like cross-legged, sitting up, and she's behind him trying to like feed him the grape. Like, here's his head, reach around, and he keeps like just rotating out. So then she like tricks him by getting his hand this way and then shoves it in his mouth that way, and she got him to eat the grape. That's like the earliest memory I have of Andrew.
Hard to think of the earliest memory I have of Andrew since I've known him pretty much my entire life, but I think the strongest one is playing on the trampoline with him when we were kids. We used to get the hose and play little water games, and he would make up fun challenges for me, and it was really fun, and we did it quite often, and it was just a good bonding time with him.
How has Andrew influenced my life? Well, he has definitely brought a lot of joy to my life because I love spending time with him and also watching him do his sports and stuff. But really, the funniest thing is just talking with him. He is probably one of the funniest people I know. And one time, we were playing Tape Up Your Brother, and we taped him up, and he was only probably, 11, and we taped him up with duct tape around his legs, and then he just broke free. It was amazing. I think it's because he had a trampoline and he jumped on it a lot, so he had really strong legs. So just moments like that are just so fun, and I really enjoy spending time with Andrew. It's never a wasted moment when you spend time with Andrew.
Andrew has influenced me personally because he has always been there for me, not really as a backup, but as someone to hang out with or play with when I was younger, or even now when I don't really have anyone else to hang out with, just because he was always there and willing to just do something fun with me. And I think because of that, I don't really like being lonely. I like to always share my life with someone else because I've always had Andrew there for me. Additionally, now his sense of humor, I think, is hilarious. He's probably one of the people that I think is the most funny, and because of this, kind of his sense of humor has made me be just a little bit more relaxed and just like, in a way, helped me to enjoy life more.
Andrew has influenced my life by making me a better person just because he was so interested in everything that I had to learn about it too so that I could tell him. We learned about Star Wars, we learned about military equipment, we learned about trains. He just made me look at the world at a different view as well, from the boy view versus the girl view. I always thought I was a tomboy until I had Andrew, and then I realized I didn't really know anything about boys at all.
So I feel like over the majority of my life, I've had two life philosophies. There's young Annie, who was the kid who was afraid to go on the roller coaster because I don't know why, because I just was. And so I stood with the parents while all the other 11-year-olds went on the roller coaster, and I just watched. And then I went off to college, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I'm going to not be afraid of anything. I'm going to do, if someone says something I can't do it, I'm going to do it. My dad said I wouldn't go skydiving, so I did it just to spite him. But really, the skydiving was fun. So now my life philosophy is, I was about to say just do it, but I don't like Nike, so I can't say that. Don't be afraid of anything. Just put yourself out there and go for it. Synonyms.
My basic life philosophy is that everything will eventually work out in the end. So, like, don't stress about decisions too hard because no choice is the wrong choice. It is just the choice you made. So, even if things suck now, like, it'll work itself out. And I think I'm a pretty optimistic person.
Pretty much just live and let others live. And as long as you're not hurting anybody else, then it's okay to do what you want, I think.